နောက်ပြီးတော့ဗာလဲယုတ်တိဆွေးနွေးတစ်ခုကိုထားတယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့ဟိုမှာနှစ်ခုပြန်ခွဲထားတယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒီထဲမှာ remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy တချို့ကြတော့ Sabbath day လို့ခေါ်တယ်တချို့ကြတော့ the Lord's day လို့ခေါ်တယ်နော်Now thou shalt not covet your neighbor house your neighbor wife အဲ့ဒါကိုနှစ်ခုပိုင်းထားတယ်ဒီမှာကြတော့ဗာလေပြောထားလဲ remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy the sixth day the Sabbath day the sixth day you shall labor and do all your work but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God So, but the title is like God's 10 Commandments. This side, they have no title. So, but still not the truth. So, what is the truth? Where is the truth gone? Why this thing come in the Google? And then why AI telling you to something like that if you put the 10 Commandments? Why? But you know, internet မှာတင်ထားတဲ့ဘာဖြစ်လို့ Google မှာတင်ထားတဲ့ AI ကတလိုမျိုးတွေရိုက်ထည့်လို့ရှိရင်တလိုမျိုးတွေပြောတယ်ဘာဖြစ်လို့ပြောလဲ Okay let's go back to John chapter 8 44ယောဟန်ခန်းကြီး4ငယ်sorry ယောဟန်ခန်းကြီး8ငယ်44ကိုပြန်ဖတ်မယ်အဲ့ဒီဟာကိုနောက်တစ်ခေါက်ပြန်ဖတ်အောင်မယ်သေချာအောင်ပိုတိကျအောင်လေးငယ်44 So who want to go sorry 8ငယ်44တင်တို့သည်တင်တို့အဖဒီဟုသောမာနမှဆင်းသက်ကြ၏တင်တို့အဖ၏အလိုတို့လည်းလိုက်ကြတတ်၏မာနသည်ရှေးဥစွာမှမဆာ၍လူအသက်ကိုတတ်တော်သူဖြစ်၏Okay လူသက်ကိုတတ်သူဆိုပဲပြင်းရတော့ချိုးဖောက်လဲ Thou shalt not kill နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့သူ၌သစ္စာတရားမရှိတဲ့လူဘယ်လိုခေါ်လဲလူလိမ် Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor နော်ကဲလူလိမ်လို့ခေါ်တယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့ဗာဖြစ်လဲသူသည်မူသာစကားကိုလည်းပြောသောအခါမိမိပဂတိတိုင်းပြော၏နောက်ပါလဲအဲ့ဒီလိန်တဲ့ဟာကိုဗာပြီလဲသစ္စာမရှိတာကိုထပ်ပြီးတော့အနဲ့တိတ်ပဲထပ်ဖွင့်နေတယ်ဘယ်လိုလဲလိန်နေတဲ့လိန်တာကိုဘယ်လိုပြောလဲပဂတိတိုင်းပြောတယ်တဲ့လိန်တာကိုပဂတိတိုင်းပြောတယ်သေချာနားထောင်တော့လိန်တာကဗာဖြစ်လဲတမန်ငါရှံကနဲ့လိန်တာမဟုတ်ဘူးလိန်တာတော့မှပဂတိတိုင်းဆိုတကက်အခုဒီမှာကြည့်လို့ပဲဟာကြည့်လိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ဟာပညာတော့10ပါးပဲဟာဟုတ်ကြီးလို့ပဲထင်နေကြတယ်တကယ်လို့ပဲစာလုံးတွေကလည်းမှန်တယ်မှာတချို့ဖတ်လိုက်တော့တဲ့သွားကြတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ပဂတိတိုင်းလို့ပဲဒါပေမဲ့တကယ်မဟုတ်ဘူးနောက်ပြီးတော့ဗာပြောသေးလဲမုဒ္ဒစကား၌ကျင်လေသောသူဖြစ်၏တဲ့သူကမုဒ္ဒစကား၌ကျင်လေဆိုတဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ပါလဲကဲဗမာနည်းနည်းပိုင်တဲ့လူတွေမုဒ္ဒစကား၌ကျင်လေတယ်ဆိုတာပါလဲလူလိမ်တဲ့နေရာမှာကျင်လဲတယ်ဆိုတာကျွမ်းကျင်တယ်ဒါအမှန်တယ်နောက်တခြားဘက်စကလုံးရှိသေးလဲကျင်လဲတယ်ကျွမ်းကျင်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာတွေကဘယ်လိုမှသုံးတာလဲဆိုတော့အမြဲတမ်းလုပ်နေတယ်ဆိုတာနဲ့အတူတူပဲဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့တခုခုကိုကျွမ်းကျင်တယ်တခုခုကျင်လဲဖို့အတွက်အများနဲ့မလုပ်လို့ရှိရင်ဘယ်ရမလဲမဖြစ်နိုင်ဘူးเนาะနောက်ပြီးတော့မူသာဤအဖလည်းဖြစ်၏တဲ့เนาะမူသာဤအဖလည်းဖြစ်၏ဟုတ်မလိမ်လည်းမနေနိုင်တော့ဘူးဟုတ်လားအဲကြောင့်မို့ငါကအတားပြောလိုက်လို့ရှိရင်အများနဲ့အမြဲတမ်းရည်ရတယ်အတားရဲ့အပေါင်းအသင်းနဲ့သွားတွေ့လို့ရှိရင်အမြဲတမ်းပြောအတားစကားပြောအရန်ရည်ရတယ်ကောင်းတယ်မလားဒါကောင်းလားကောင်းတာလို့ပြောတာဟမ်အမ လိန်
ဟုတ်လေကောင်းလာကောင်းတော့အဲ့ဒါဘာပြက်ကောင်းလာလို့အစုပ်အားကောင်းလာလေကြီးရတာ
နာဒါတော့သူပြောတာပေါ့နာဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့ဒီလိုမျိုးပြောတဲ့အချိန်မှာဒါမှုသာဆိုတာဗာလဲဒါအပြောတစ်ခုပဲနော်အခုလောလောဆယ်ပြောနေတဲ့အကလုံးအပြောတွေပဲအပြောနဲ့ပဲအလုပ်လုပ်တာလက်တွေ့တောင်မှမပါသေးဘူးအပြောနဲ့မှုသာစကားပြောတယ်ကျင်လေစကားနိုင်ကျင်လေတဲ့စကားပဲသုံးတယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့လည်းပြောလဲဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့သူဒီမှုသာစကားကိုပြောတတ်ဤစကားပဲပြပြောသေးတယ်နော်သစ္စာတရားမရှိသစ္စာတို့ဂတိဆိုတာဘာနဲ့လာလဲစကားပဲလာသေးတယ်နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့ဘာဖြစ်လဲရှင်းဥမဆိုင်၍လူတက်ကိုတတ်ဤအဲ့ဒီမှာကြတော့ဘာဖြစ်လဲလိန်ပြီးတော့ဘာဖြစ်လဲလူကိုတတ်တယ်နော်တတ်တယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့အဖားတို့ရဲ့အလိုတို့လည်းလိုက်တတ်ကြ၏တဲ့ဘာမှလဲဆိုတော့သူတို့သည်တင်တို့အဖားဒီဟုသောမာနနော်သူကစပြီးတော့လိန်ပြီးတော့ပါတယ်ဖြစ်လဲတတ်လိုက်တယ်နော်ကဲအဲ့ဒါကမြန်မာလို Okay in English let's read John chapter 8 verse 44 so I want to explain a little bit more about those things you are of your fathers the devil and you want to do the desire of your father he was a murderer from the beginning and doesn't stand in the truth because there is no truth in him when he speaks a lie he speaks on his own for he is a liar and the father of lies how many lies in there so if somebody calls someone many times the same words if identify someone something again and again more than 3 times what does that mean what does that mean it's important right like the children when your mom wants you don't do this one is okay twice don't do this one don't do it many times it means like more important right for me I don't want to say many times if 2 times 3 times after that I have to do something because word doesn't work so what you have to do you have to put in action right that's the thing so here he said he started lying not keeping promising and then after look at this verse alone he what happened he lied and later on he killed it that's why so to know somebody lied where you're going to find how you're going to find out whether they are lying or not how you're going to find out so I show this picture what is the difference whether which one is true Kim do you know you notice anything which one is true the left one are you sure most script doesn't mean always right so we read 10 commandments every morning right why we need to do that because the Bible tells us one day the fake is coming on the way that's why to know the fake why you have to find out you have to hold the real things not a lot of dollar note Australian dollar note that have a fake if you never see a dollar how are you going to understand which one is fake right counterfeit so that's why you have to know the real then you compare the real and then the counterfeit and then you're going to understand which one is real now this thing is look a lot better than that one but they miss it's a one missing look at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 what is that this they make it 10 the last 2 are the same you remember Sim Kim if you don't remember open your Bible that's easy and then this side also they make one they miss one what is that they say thou shalt not what is that what is that? Make yourself a graven image or a carved image. Those two are always missing. Why? Because, okay, why you want to know? I'm going to press this one. I'll come back to this later. Why? Why the graven image is missing? Do you know how to read this? Where is the black one? What is the black one? Muslim. Do they bow down and worship? Yeah. What is the second one? The black. The woman. The Catholic is Mother Mary's. They never pray to God. They never pray to Jesus. They pray to Mary. That's why the Catholic. That's why they have the other. Okay. And then what is that one? Buddhism, right? They worship the idols, right? That's why if you put something, don't worship the idol, and then you bow down in front of the idol. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense at all. That's why they have to cut something away, and then to do this one, they change the God's law. That is another reason. What is the other one? Do you know? Hindu. They worship the same. But in Buddhism, they don't have a creation. That's why they copy the creation from the Hinduism. That is the beginning of the explanations of the creation. They copy from Hindu. That's why most of the Buddhist Bible, they have another name. They writing in, what is that? Pali. Yeah? Do you know what is the Pali is? Pali is Indian words, the Indian script. So very deep meaning. If you call Pali, all the Buddhists understand that one. So they came from that one. And then that's why. Do you know what is the Catholic mean? Catholic is like what is that? Universal. So Catholic can fit in everything. The reason why they get rid of two. They get rid of the idol worshiper. The idol worshipping, they get rid of that one. And then they split another two. That's why. They get only rid of one thing. And then they mess up with the other thing. Let's go back. Let's see. And then they mix up with the Sabbath. Now also they mix up with the Sabbath. Some version they say, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. This one they stay using because it's a long time ago. And then remember the Sabbath day. Remember to keep holy the Sabbath day. They make it a little bit uncomfortable to read it. And then 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath to the Lord your God. That's also not like a original King James Version anyway. See, they mess up a little bit, and then from that Sabbath, now they change it to Lord's Day. From that Lord's Day, they change it to, what is that? Holiday. Holiday to holiday. They make it like Sabbath, right? Probably later on they get rid of the 7-day Sabbath. They get rid of the 7th day, and then they put it to Sabbath to the Lord's Day to, they make it holiday. That's why a lot of people on Sunday, what do they do normally? Some people are going to church, some people they're going to
holiday.
Like spend their time with friends and family. They make themselves free. That's what the holiday is all about. And then most of the time they start the sport games, right? The sport games. Do you know that? That's why most of the game they play on Saturday. That's why the thing is processing step by step. And then if you don't keep the commandments of God, you don't actually know. what thing going on. Because like we say, John chapter 8 verse, what is that? 44 say, liar. They lie you a little bit. And they get rid of a little bit. Okay, one thing. Look at this one. Honor your father and your mother in the first table. Why? Honor your father and your mother in the first table. Because that's where the Father's Day come from. Because father, mother are the same in God's table. So that's why they started worship father, mother, and then they pray to Mary. And then in Buddhism, also they worship, for example, like this one, in Buddha's place sometimes, once a year they worship their parents, they worship their teacher. So they get rid of one thing and then they started introducing lying people. And then what happened? A lot of people, they follow their mother and father footstep. And then they keep it as a tradition. That's why the tradition is stronger than the truth called the Bible. So they get rid of only one verse. And then they change everything. That is the Satan work. Okay? Got it? So, do you know this church? In Revelation. So if you don't know this church, probably you don't open the Bible. And this church, you know where is this place situated? Any idea? Where is the seven churches situated? In Revelation. Yeah, Turkey. You know what is the capital city of Turkey? You know the city, capital city of the Turkey? Yeah, Istanbul. Yeah, you are very good. So that's what this church. You go to Revelation chapter 2. Huh? What? What is that? Okay, yeah, but in Istanbul also, you can go there. Okay, anyway, this is not there. This is a Pergamos church. What happened with this Pergamos church? Do you know anything about this church? Di ma, ကျွန်တော်သိတော့ခုနှစ်ပါးမှာ church တစ်ခုပါတယ် Pergamos church ဆိုတာရှိတယ်နော်ဗျာဒိတ်ကျမ်းခန်းကြီးနေ့မှာကြည့်လိုက်အဲ့ဒီ church ရဲ့ပြဿနာကဘာလဲအဲ့ church ပြဿနာကဘာလဲအဲ့ church ပြဿနာကဘာလဲ So do you know Easter? And who know Easter? Yeah. What happened? What happened? So you go to this church, okay? See? There is a picture. What is over there? What is the other one? There is a Pope. Do you know who this Pope? Huh? You don't know this name? He's very popular. So if you don't know them, maybe he's not very popular. John Paul the second. No, this one is not John Paul. This is the red one. Leo 14. Yeah, Leo 14. Why those popes have to go that place every year? That is the place for Pergamos church, right? Why these folks have to go there every year? All the popes, look at there. This is a long time ago, see? Now the present pope also going there. Why? Look at that building, the church. You know what is do you know that color? In Revelation chapter 17, you see that color. Why this color? Sun. Look at there. That is like a sun. They go there every Easter. Why Easter? Why Easter? Why not Wester? Huh? Why not Southster or North? Why? Why not something like that? Why only East? Come on, President. Yes, that's where the sun rises. So is anything wrong? You pray you turn your face wherever. Is that matter? It's not matter if you pray to God. It depends. But if you do it in purposely, that is a matter. Look at there. That is the step that they have to turn their face toward the east. And that place was called Pergamos. Another name, what is that? They go there, they worship, what is that? Soda already said that. What do? They worship Satan. So actually, if you go back to the history, at that temple was a snake. You know, Mark Finley went there to take a picture. He went there and then he saw a big snake. He witnessed about that. That place now, they keep the snake. What does the snake represent? Satan. So, what is the difference? You know, you look at them, look very nice, right? High ranking, they control the whole world. Now, the Hormuz Strait, he's the one who controls everything. He can stop America, he asks America to fight, he controls the whole world. Now, everything costs like a petrol. He can control it. But, does he has the truth? Does he has the truth? So he said, yeah, I like Swanka. Swanka said, yeah, no, that's good. You know, very good. So, do we follow them? Yes. That is the question. Now, the question is a little bit tight. Anyway, do we follow them? Okay, let's see what comes next. See, there is a woman saying, the same color, right? Look at this color. They try to copy as much as they can. They copy the Bible. They are very good. That's why I asked Ada. Ada said he has to read Bible more. Only to read the Bible. No, he has to copy. But he also copied the Bible. Look at the red. And then look at this picture, the red. Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sit by many waters. With her, the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. Revelation chapter 17, 1 to 2. So how many who never drink wine here? Come on. I don't think. Sarah? He never drink wine, but he raised his hand. He drink wine, right? What happened? Come on, say something here. Witness is the best. When you drink wine, what happened?
ကျွန်တော်တို့အဲ့ဒီ
အင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပြောလေအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပြောနေတာ
when we were drinking the wine we had like like we need to do what we need to do, what we can't do that we need to do that like that, like alcohol we drink, we are in a hug, like no scale, everything we need to do like that.
You know why now? Without alcohol, the world is very, very junk. Cannot go out. But when he drank, English,
Yes.
everything come up easily, right?
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, very easy. See, now he cannot speak English, but he want to talk about alcohol, but doesn't work. But when you give him like 2 or 3 alcohol, everything going smooth.
အဲ့ဒါရှာလဲသွားတယ်လေအဲ့ဒါရှာလဲသွားတာအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပြောလိုက်တာဟိုတာ
Tongue twisting.
Trump twist.
See, that's what happened. When people drink, they just speak and then they don't think. That's why now he thinking. When he think, he English is not come out. But when he put like 2 or 3 cup of wine, all English going smoothly. Don't worry about grammar, nothing. That's what happened with the wine. When people drink the wine, look at like this lady, you see all the picture, all the movie, everywhere you're going to see something like that. The colorful, the bright color. Look at the decoration with the woman, necklace and bracelets, and look at the decoration. You are going to see a lot in the world nowadays, right? You're going to see a lot. That's why sometimes I go to the city, I see the woman like that. I was shocked. You know, I only read in the Bible. Now it's real because they try to copy this one. The world try to introduce this. So what is the difference, those two? What is the difference? Which one is better? Why one is better? See? Which one do you want? If you, for example, now we're going to ask the young man, if you were going to pick up your wife, which one you're going to pick? Sangha, just for example, you don't need to take these two ladies. Don't worry. Huh? The white one, see? Who else? If you have to Kim, you're going to pick which one you're going to pick? Yeah. Yeah, the white one, yeah. You know who is the white one? So if you want to know the white one, go into Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. Open your Bible. You're going to go to Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. It's a very simple. You know what does that look like? 12 verse 1 here said, Now the great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then, being with child, she cried out in labor, in pain, to give birth. So there is another lady, chapter 12, verse 1. So that's why her character, with the sun, closer with the sun, and then, what is that? And then with the moon and head with a garland of stars. So if you look at the church nowadays, which religion take the moon sickle? Which religion? Islam, right? If you look at most of the famous people, you know, like, what is that called? Celebrity? What is that? The famous singer, they use a lot of star symbol, you know. This star is original from the Bible, represent the white lady, and then also represent the pure church. But this star also, okay, who know all those like a movie, you know? How you're going to call very famous person? They use, yeah, he's a star, right? He's a star. Now it's not star. The great player they call GOAT. Oh, who's a player? Hey, Jin Jin, you know what is a GOAT mean? GOAT? What is that? Yeah, kinds of same meaning, but they have a different meaning. They have the different words. What does a GOAT mean? Song Kai, go, come on, go. I think you can help me for that. GOAT. Yeah, GOAT stands for something. Yeah, greatest of all time. They call GOAT. You know, is it accident or incident? Which animal is a goat in the Bible? It's a goat, right? What represent? Satan. And then look at how they celebrate. Like this. Yeah. See that? And then they look at to heaven. Is that either accident or just coincidence? Yeah, most of them, and then they do like that, they look at heaven. They represent the same thing. You know, God has two horns, and then also they point it to heaven. And then they use star. Yeah, he's a star, right? Very famous people, they're being called as a star. Why? Everything, don't think about this white lady. No. The falling star. Who is the falling star? It's a Lucifer. So go back that way. Okay, that one. So remember the star? They copy from this lady, but they represent the other lady. And then that's it. So I'm going to finish soon. Alright? I'm going to finish soon. I give you two women. right? You like the white one. And then this one, you know her character. And then you know these, churches. And then they are in Vatican, or they are leading the world nowadays. And then also that is in the Revelation chapter 17. That is a church. This church has a problem. Balaam. He preached the Balaam and then Nicholas. What is a Balaam? Do you know anything about Balaam in the Bible? What happened? He's a God prophet, and then he cursed God's people. It's called Balaam. Look at this one. They call himself as a Christian, but they deny Christ. They only use Jesus. The Catholic system, they preach Jesus died. Not for us. He died for his sin. Is that what the Bible says? No. That's why after that they say, that's why you cannot pray to Jesus. Jesus is died on the cross. They always show Jesus and the cross. The cross is bigger than Jesus, always. It means Jesus died for his sin, not for us. And then after that, they never preach about Jesus rise again. And then the other denomination preach a little bit. And then they say, you have to pray to Mary. You know who's a Mary? You know who's a Mary? Yeah, the Catholic, look at that. They have to pray to mothers, the mothers. That's why. Jesus' mother. That's why Mother's Day, Father's Day coming. Because, look at this table, right? This table, honor your father and mother, is in the first table. That's why equal to God. That's why the Catholic changed everything. If you want to know the truth, you have to read the Bible. Otherwise, you're not going to understand. So let's read this one. Okay, let's read this one. What is that? Let's read together. Even if we were to commit fornication and murder 1,000 times a day, it would not separate me from Christ. What is that? What is that? Do you understand this? Do you understand this meaning? All right? I think you all understand this meaning. So, Martin Luther is the one who opposed the Catholic Church. And then he said they can do many things, whatever they want to do. But the Catholic Church cannot separate them from him and Jesus Christ. I think we should all have those spirit and mindset. We should all do, right? So, okay, we'll go back to the beginning. So, there is a fake one. Number one, go back and read your Bible. Open Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 to 17. Every day that you don't get lie from Satan. Because he is a liar. You are going to lie from the commandments, right? The 10 commandments, and then you are going to twist everything. And then, after he lied from commandments, if you don't know, you're going to worship the idol. Okay? You're going to worship the idol. And then, idol going to where? The Satan. That is the church of the Satan. This is the building in Turkey nowadays, right? So look at that. Why worshiping sun is not good? It's a creation. Why worshiping sun is not good? What about in the sun worshipper in the paganism, they do child sacrifice. They build a big statue and then they make their hand like that, and then they put the born baby, they put and then they burn their statue because the iron, and then when they burn it, when you put the children on the hand of that statue, what happened? When you burn yourself, what happened? You cry, right? You cry and then you move yourself. And then they say, we sacrifice to our God, and then they dance and they pray. That's why a lot of music like a drum, boom, 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 like that. They worship the sun God. That's where the Sundays come from. That's where the Sunday come from. That's why this sun, you know, every Easter, every year, this Pope, all the Pope have to go to the Istanbul, and then they have to go to the Pergamos church. They go in their place, they turn their face to east, and then they pray to sun. That's what I like. So, why I need to say that? Because that's what happened in nowadays, right? That's what happened in nowadays. So, if you want to follow them, what you have to do? Second, if you want to follow them, you don't need to do much. What you have to do? You have to do only one thing. What? You have to break the Sabbath, or you don't follow the Ten Commandments. You are 100% following this beast. 100%. Only break the Ten Commandments. What is that? Okay, let's read Ten Commandments. What is the number one? Thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? And then what is the number two? Thou shalt not make for yourself a graven image. And then what is the number three? Take the name of the Lord your God in vain. What is the number four? Remember the Sabbath day. Those four belong to God. See, if you don't remember that, they get rid of one thing, and then you follow the rest, you're going to be like that. So, sometimes we say our Seventh-day Adventist people are the Sabbath keeper. So, is that good? Yes, very good. But if you don't keep the Sabbath, what happens? You follow the Satan straight away. Why? Because we become a liar. Whenever we break the Ten Commandments, we become a liar. You know, when we become a liar, we become the fellow. We become the follower of Satan. Is that easy? Very easy. Just don't forget to read the Ten Commandments every day. It will going to save you from a lie. Who is a liar? Who is a liar? Everybody who preach. What? Everybody who preach, you can worship any day. They are liar. Everybody who say, oh, you can eat everything. They are liar. And everybody say, doesn't matter which religion you worship, we worship the same God. That is a liar. And then if somebody say, doesn't matter, you only break the Sabbath once a week, once a year or twice a year. Only break once or twice a year. Doesn't matter. You know what is that? If somebody say like that, they are a liar. Because God say, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So whenever you break it. Once or twice, doesn't matter. Right? That is a liar. And then when I play soccer, it's happened a lot. Hey, only one Sabbath. We're going to go to final. We hardly get to final, but only this year, come and play. Only one Sabbath, break it. I heard a lot of people say to me like that. A lot. So when you break it once, what happens? It's easy to break it two. When you break it two, easy to go to three. And then when you go 3, 4, 5 times, do you think you're going to come to church? Hardly ever you want to come to church. You keep on doing it. That's why the Satan lied to you. Only a little bit. Take only one bite. That's why he lied to Eve. Take only one bite. And then what happened? The whole world collapsed. Right? Because of one bite. So remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Why we need to keep the Sabbath? Sabbath is the sign between God and us. That's why if you worship on Sunday, Sunday is people who worship the sun, and then they belong to this organization. So if you believe in God, if you love God, please keep yourself away from lie. All right? Any question? Any question? Any question? No question. All right? So one day, if you want to see the snake, who like the snake? You go there. I'll go there. It's like if you go there, you will understand the 7 churches in the Revelation. That's talking about the church over there in Turkey. Okay. All right. So, okay. ဒီမှာတော့ပြောရလို့ဒီလားအားလုံးနားလဲတယ်လို့ပဲခေါင်းလည်းညိမ့်ကြတယ်ပြောရလို့ဒီလားကဲအတူရုပ်နေနဲ့ပြန်ပြောမယ်ဟာ We have this hope ဖြစ်သွားပြီ Okay ဒီဟာကဥပမာဒီမှာနော်ပညာတော်10ပါးနှစ်ခုရှိတယ်ဒီပညာတော်10ပါးနှစ်ခုကတစ်ခုမှမမှန်ဘူးအဲ့ဒီမမှန်တာကိုသိဖို့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘာလုပ်ဖို့လို့လဲကျွန်တော်ကျမ်းစာကိုဖတ်ရမယ်ပညာတော်10ပါးကိုဖတ်ရမှာအဲ့ပညာတော်10ပါးဘာမှရှိလဲတက်ကနေဆက်ခွန်နော်အဲ့ဒါကိုရပြီလား你是你的，你毕业多少年了？好了，我毕业多发表声，发达了，发了也罢了。啊不，要多的路的路的啊，你乌闹年路，就那是民间美国没是你的路，可能那边我毕业多才发表的，就那搞开来嘛，啊所以那咖啡，喏，啊啦嘛，啊啦，这地看那都没有呗，啊啦这地他嘞，那看那出路的多了，没路多的嘞，喏，你嘛苦嘛不忙，你嘛。ပညာတော်ကဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့အဲ့အမေနဲ့အဖေကိုယူသေးပါလို့ပြောတဲ့ဟာဖယားနဲ့တန်းနဲ့ထားတယ်ဒါဖယားနဲ့ဆိုင်တဲ့ပညာမှာထားလိုက်တဲ့ခါကျတော့သူတို့ကဘာဖြစ်လဲမိခင်မေရီကိုသူတို့ရှစ်ခိုးရတယ်ခရစ်တော်ကတည်သွားပြီသူ့ပြည့်နဲ့သူတည်သွားတာကျွန်တော်တို့ပြည့်ကြောင်မဟုတ်ဘူးသူကိုသူပါလဲသူကိုသူဖယားလို့ပြောလို့သူကအဲ့ဒီအပြည့်ကြောင်သူတည်သွားတဲ့အကြောင်းကိုသူကကားတိုင်းမှာအသက်ခံပြီးတော့တည်သွားတယ်ဒီဘာသာတွေအဲ့လိုပဲယုံတယ်အဲ့လိုယုံပြီးတဲ့အချိန်မှာခရစ်တော်ကပြီးသွားပြီဒါကြောင့်ခရစ်တော်မှာတောင်းလို့မရတော့ဘူးသူကဘောစားအမေမေရီမှာပဲတောင်းရမယ်တဲ့အမျိုးတင်တယ်အဲကြောင့်ကက်သလစ်ဆိုရင်မေရီကိုပဲသူဆုတောင်းတယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့မေရီရဲ့ပုံကိုရှစ်ခိုးတယ်အဲ့ဒီခါမှာဘာတွေဖြစ်လာလဲဆိုတော့အမေများနေတို့အဖေများနေတို့ကပေါ်လာတယ်အဲ့လူတွေကိုရှစ်ခိုးရတယ်နော်အဲ့ဒီမျိုးသိဖို့အတွက်အမှန်တရားသိဖို့အတွက်ကျွန်တော်ပညာတော်10ပါးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့အလွတ်ရပြီးတော့ကောင်းကောင်းနဲ့ချွတ်ချွတ်နဲ့တမန်ကျွန်တော်မလိမ့်နိုင်အောင်ကျွန်တော်သိဖို့လိုတယ်နော်အဲ့ဒီဖြစ်လဲတဲ့ခါကျတော့အဲ့ပညာတော်10ပါးဘာကိုလိန်ထားတာလဲရုပ်ထုစင်းလူကိုမကိုးကိုရအောင်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုဖြုတ်လိုက်တယ်ဘာဖြစ်လို့ဖြုတ်လာလဲဆိုတော့ဒီမှာဒီဘာသာတွေအကုန်လုံးကမွတ်စလင်ရယ်ကက်သလစ်ရယ်မက်သလဲဗုဒ္ဓရယ်ဟိန္ဒူအဲ့ဒါတွေအကုန်လုံးကသူတို့ကဘာလဲရုပ်ထုကိုကိုးကွယ်တယ်နော်ရုပ်ထုကိုကိုးကွယ်တဲ့ခါကျတော့ဒီသူတို့ကဒီဟာကိုဖြုတ်ရတယ်နော်ဖြုတ်တဲ့ခါမှာကက်သလစ်ကဒီလူတွေအကုန်လုံးပေါင်းလဲအော်ညီတို့လည်းရုပ်ထုကိုးကွယ်တာပဲငါတို့လည်းမေရီကိုကိုးကွယ်တာပဲ mass အချိန်မှာကဲမိုးစားလည်းငါတို့လည်းဘုရားရှိခိုးတာပဲเนาะအဲ့ဒီဥစ္စာဆိုရင်เนาะအဲ့လိုမျိုးတွေနဲ့အကုန်လုံးတူသွားတယ်ဒါကြောင့်မို့ယောဟန်ခန်းကြီးရှေ့ငယ်44မှာပြောတာဗာဖြစ်လဲ You are the father of liar မင်းကလိန်တဲ့အလူတွေကဖခင်နဲ့เนาะပြောထားတယ်ဒါကတော့ဒီနေ့တစ်ခါအဲ့ဒီမှာဘာမှရှိလဲဆိုတော့တူရကီနိုင်ငံမှာရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒီဘုရားကျောင်းကဗျာဒိတ်ကျမ်းခန်းကြီး19မှာရှိတယ်ဖဂမုံဆိုတဲ့ church ဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့ဒီ church ကဘာလဲဆိုတော့ဒီနေ့တစ်ခါပုပ်ချံမင်းကြီးကသွားတယ်အဲ့ east အချိန်မှာသွားပြီးတော့ဒီဘက်မှာသူတို့ရှိခိုးတယ်အဲ့ဒါနေရုပ်ထားတယ်အဲ့ဒီနေရုပ်ကအရှိဘက်ကိုဥတည်ပြီးတော့သူတို့သွားပြီးတော့နေကိုရှိခိုးတယ်အဲ့ east day မှာနော်အဲ့ဒီ east day မှာအမှကြည့်ရဟိုးတော့ပဲအဲ့လိုစရှိတယ်နော်အဲ့ဒီမှာကျွန်တော်ကျမ်းစာထဲမှာအခန်းကြီး19မှာပြောထားလဲဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါကစာဒမနာရဲ့ဗာလဲရစ်ပလင်းလို့ခေါ်တာလေအဲ့နေရာစာတော်မနဲ့ရစ်ပလင်းနဲ့အဲ့နေကိုရှစ်ခိုးတဲ့နေရာစာတော်ရစ်ပလင်းလို့ပြတဲ့ကျန်ခိုင်း19မှာပြောထားတယ်နော်ဒါကြောင့်မလို့ဒီလိုမျိုးတွေကျွန်တော်တို့သိဖို့အတွက်ကျွန်တော်ဘာလုပ်လဲကျမ်းစာကိုဖတ်မယ်ကဲဒါဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဖျားကိုသိတယ်ဒါကတော့နော်သူရဲ့ဟောစားလက္ခဏာပေါ့နော်ပြတဲ့ကျန်ခိုင်းမှာပြောထားတဲ့ဒီမိမကဒါတဲ့ဒီအသင်းတော်ကိုပြောထားတယ်နော်ဒီမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကတော့အသင်းတော်မိမအဝုလုံးဖြူထားတဲ့အသင်းတော်နဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကိုနိုင်ထားတယ်ဒီဘက်မှာကျတော့တောက်စားနဲ့နော်ကျွန်တော်ပြန်ကြည့်လိုက်အခုကဘာတစ်ခုလုံးကတောက်စားပြီးတော့အရက်ပြေးတာတယ်ကလုံးတောက်စားပြီးတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးပြောပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါအသိတော်ကလည်းဆိုင်တယ်အဲ့ဒါတွေအသေးစိတ်နောက်မှကျွန်တော်ပြောပြမယ်အခုကအချိန်သိမရှိလို့သဘောတရားပဲဒီဘက်မှာလည်းကျွန်တော်လည်းဆိုင်တယ်တန့်ရှင်တဲ့အမျိုးသမီးနဲ့ကျွန်တော်လည်းဆိုင်တယ် ကျွန်တော်အဲ့လိုမျိုးကိုတန်းရှင်းတဲ့ဥပုံတွေကိုစောင့်တဲ့လူတွေလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့အမြဲတမ်းပြောတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့ပညာတော်ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ချိုးဖောက်လိုက်တာနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဟိုဘက်စာတာမဏေကိုဝိပုကိုးကွယ်တဲ့လူတွေစီကိုတခါတည်းရောက်တယ်နော်အဲ့ဒါကိုကျွန်တော်တို့သိပြီးတော့ဥစ္စာသတိထားဖို့လိုတယ်နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့ဒီမှာဆိုရင်အဲ့ဒီနေရှိတဲ့နေလူမျိုးပုံစံတွေအများကြီးတွေ့လိမ့်မယ်ဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာမှာသွားလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့ဘုရားရှင်မှာအဲ့လိုမျိုးမီးထွန်းထားပြီးတော့မီးရောင်တွေတတ်ထားတယ်နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့တချို့လူတွေကမီးထွန်းရတယ်ချို့မျိုးအမျိုးမျိုးပဲသူတို့ကျဲအဲ့လိုမျိုးအကုန်လုံးလုပ်ထားတယ်အဲ့ဒါတွေအကုန်လုံးကဘာကိုပုံဆောင်ထားလဲဆိုတော့နာနဲ့သားမိုးတောက်ကျဲဆိုတော့ morning star ဆိုတဲ့